Now, in a shocking announcement, US President Donald Trump also proposed that the US would take over and redevelop the war-ravaged Gaza Strip after Palestinians had been permanently resettled to neighboring Arab nations. Now, Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu said that Trump was thinking out of the box, but analysts say that his plan lacks any detail. Sean Hogan reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
US President Donald Trump said the US would take over the war-ravaged Gaza Strip and develop it after Palestinians had resettled elsewhere.
And I don't want to be cute, I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad, this could be so magnificent.
It's a move that would shatter decades of US policy towards the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Speaking after a Tuesday meeting with Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House, Trump did not provide specifics and did not directly respond to how and under what authority the US can take over and occupy Gaza long term.
The US will take over the Gaza Strip and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Netanyahu, whose military has fought for more than a year with Hamas militants in Gaza, would not be drawn into discussing the proposal in depth, but said Trump was, quote, showing willingness to puncture conventional thinking. Trump also announced earlier the proposal to permanently resettle Palestinians from Gaza to countries like Jordan, Egypt, and other neighbouring Arab states. That goes beyond suggestions he has made about Gazan resettlement that Arab leaders have already steadfastly rejected. Forced displacement of Gaza's population would likely be a violation of international law and be fiercely opposed by Western allies. Some human rights advocates liken the idea to ethnic cleansing. Senior Hamas official Sami Abu Zuri condemned Trump's calls for Gazans to leave as expulsion from their land and a recipe for generating chaos and tension in the region.
All right, so now to decode what Donald Trump's proposal for Gaza means and also how did that meet between Prime Minister Netanyahu and the US President in fact go. Let's try and deep dive, and for that I am joined in by George Birnbaum, who's a former Chief of Staff to Benjamin Netanyahu. Thank you, George, for joining in. What in your viewpoint explains Trump's proposal for US to take over Gaza? How do you assess that?
So the word takeover, I think, is to be debated what that means. I don't think that it necessarily means, American troops on the ground and U.S. ownership of Gaza. It could mean, taking, control logistically for the next few years, economically. What we do know is this. We do know that Gaza has been a problem for many decades. It's a problem that wasn't created by Israel or the Jews. It was actually created by the Arabs in 1947 when they refused to accept a two-state solution under the UN partition plan, which would have created an Arab state and a Jewish state with Jerusalem and Bethlehem as independent cities and an economic trading zone. The Arab League, the Arab countries refused this plan. Gaza became an issue in 1967 after 500 years of the Ottoman control and the British. The Egyptians gave Gaza as a place for Palestinians to take refuge. And I think it's important for your viewers to understand, the Palestinians call themselves refugees. Well, if you're a refugee, then you're not in your home. And so Gaza really isn't the home of the Palestinian people. However, they've been living there for many, many decades. Currently, Gaza is uninhabitable. You've seen the videos of the destruction above ground. I'm sure you've seen the videos over the past year of the Israeli Defense Forces blowing up the terror tunnels underground, hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of tunnels. The land is not buildable right now. You cannot rebuild structurally on that land. Right. So I think it's going to take an out-of-the-box idea to fix Gaza. Certainly it was an Arab-created problem. It should include an Arab-created solution, which hopefully will include Egypt, Jordan, the Saudis, and others. And perhaps we can rebuild Gaza in a way that we create some sort of free trade zone. We create some kind of Singapore-like environment. But give people a place they can come back to and be economically stable and successful and not have to worry about creating a terror state.
All right, many thanks to you, George, for joining in. Thoroughly appreciate your insights. And with that, it's time for a quick break on World 360.